Dr. Ida, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate this.
Why don't you start out by giving us some background on the association, some history, and kind of where you are right now?
The organization is Naapimha. It's the National Asian American Pacific Island Mental Health Association, which is quite a mouthful. And we were first established in the year 2000 and got our 501c3 in 2001. And the reason for establishing Naapimha was really to be able to provide a voice that connected the dots around the country about community-based organizations that were working on mental health issues that were specific to the Asian American Pacific Islander communities. And so over the course of time, we've really focused on workforce development, really improving, which has always been an uphill battle, but really improving the quality of services, working on policies, and just really providing a voice for the Asian Americans that are often seen as the model minority and not needing any help. And so over the years, it's been a real joy and a treat for me to get to work with communities around the country and to work with our different partners, our federal partners, et cetera. But that's sort of, it's kind of the overall view of who we are and how we got started.
So there's obviously a need for your organization. You want to kind of tell us where those areas are?
One of the most difficult things when you're talking about the Asian American Pacific Islander communities is just the great diversity. So one-stop shopping really doesn't work for what we are doing. And that having been said, even though there's some commonalities between our communities and across them, there's some unique differences. So for instance, you may have somebody whose background they came here as a refugee. You have somebody who came as an immigrant. And you may also have somebody who is a fourth or fifth generation. So if they just check off the box Asian American, and let's say, for example, you've got a 30-year-old, they all check that box, but their backgrounds are radically different. And if we don't understand who they are, we're not going to be able to get the services that we need. Also for Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders, you also have those that have been colonized. So I remember having a Hawaiian friend say to me, we didn't come to the United States. The United States landed on us. So those experiences are also very different. When we follow a traditional Western mode of therapy, oftentimes it's talk therapy. That can be helpful for many, but for so many of our communities, the definition of mental health, we don't even talk about it separately from the mind and the body. We treat the whole person. And so in order for us to have really, I think, a way that works and is very effective for our communities, we have to understand the culture, being able to speak the language, understand historical trauma, but also look at traditional ways of healing. So without something that really respects this, we continue to have problems that go unseen because people think Asian Americans, they're the model minority. They're not going to speak up. And so you don't see them, but that doesn't mean that the problems don't exist. I can tell you from personal experience, having worked very closely with the community for years, there's some very, very profound, very, very difficult mental health issues that don't get addressed, as well as also looking at the profound strength that our communities bring to us. But this is one of the key reasons why Naapimha was formed. We knew that there were community-based organizations around the country that were doing incredible work, but they weren't able to sort of connect the dots or have a unified voice as we're looking for changing legislation, looking at policies, and just really redefining what it is to provide culturally and linguistically appropriate mental health services. So that was really sort of the foundation for why we got started, and really is sort of the cornerstone of what we continue to do.
Well, with that in mind, you offer a lot of different services and programs. You want to touch on that a little bit? I found it fascinating going through your website.
Yeah, actually, over the years, we've been really, really fortunate to be able to develop a number of programs. So it really is broadening the scope. So the Achieving Whole Health looks at the body, the mind, and the spirit. So that's just one program. There are a couple of others. We are now in the process of starting sort of expanding out our Friends to Make a Difference. The Friends to Make a Difference is developing mental health leadership training for our youth. And we're really excited about this one. We received some foundation money, and we're grateful to that, to be able to sort of expand out. And by doing this, we really want to do is start young, for people not to be afraid to talk about mental health. Mental health is nothing to be ashamed of. It has nothing to do around stigma. It's not something you did wrong. It's a reaction to things that happen to you or part of your life. And that includes the growing racism that we're seeing. So when students aren't afraid to talk about mental health, we talk about mental health, what mental health is and what it isn't. We find ways to be able to talk about suicide and knowing when to make a referral, because we're not training them to be the clinician. That would be totally inappropriate. But they're the ones of peers are going to be coming to begin with, saying, I don't know if I can keep going on, but don't tell anybody. These are secrets you don't want to keep. It's also being able to claim who they are, as that's a part of healing, to say, no, I am proud of being Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander, gay, whatever the issue happens to be, the identity. So that's also a really important part. And so those are just some of the programs that we're working on, but it really is working with the community to empower them and to be able to give them a voice, and then to be able to help them do things to help themselves. So that I think that's a real key part to healing, is that we give them the tools and the skills that they've helped us develop. So it's not as if I'm the one with the degree, I'm going to tell you what works. It's really having spent literally years in the community with colleagues saying, I think this is going to work. And then when we work with them, those are the kinds of things that we're really, really excited about, and appreciate this opportunity to kind of share. This is just some of the projects that we're working on.
Right. And along those lines, you do quite a bit of advocacy, which is a way, again, of bringing the communities together, but also showing the greater community what's going on. You want to talk about your advocacy a little bit?
We are really, really very, very happy that last May 10th, we were able to get Congressman Chu, who has been a very strong supporter of mental health. Congressman Chu presented a resolution to the U.S. Congress making May 10th, 2021 National Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Mental Health Day. And the whole purpose behind this was not to just say that we're going to pay attention to mental health on May 10th and forget about it May 11th. This is something that lays the groundwork so that when we talk to members of Congress, what we're going to be able to do then is just be able to say the reason why this is really, really important. Well, first of all, mental health is a very real issue for the Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander communities. And what we do has to clearly reflect the needs, the values, and the strengths of our community. If you don't know what our problems are, there aren't going to be resources allocated to this. And if you don't allocate resources and allocate it in a way that the money literally gets down to our communities, so just putting lots of money out there, if it doesn't reach our communities, it's not going to help. So this type of advocacy is something that's really important. And we're hoping to get more and more states to join us this year. So this May 10th, when we're having a whole series of events starting May 10th and on the 17th and the 24th, people go, this is what it is to provide services to this population. These are the individuals that are doing it. So we're going to highlight certain community-based organizations. On the 17th, we're going to be talking about our Heart's Hope Project, and it's healing through the arts. So it's finding a creative way of healing, because it's going to draw on anybody. And if you go to the website and you look under Asians in Focus, that's the Naapimha website, but we gave it its own title so that it can have that sense of mental health and healing through the arts. And then the third one is going to be, what can you as a community do? So we're going to invite them to share with us things that they're doing, and we'll tell a little bit more about some of the things that we're doing and enjoying this, because it really is one community at a time, being able to do this, sort of expand it. So advocacy takes lots of different formats. It's working on policies. It's asking the legislators, those in decision-making positions, to be able to just know we do exist. And yes, we have a lot of things to be proud of, but there are also some very real problems that if we don't address it, are going to only get worse. And we have a responsibility to make sure that all of our communities are really, really dealt with and addressed properly.
Now, you have quite a few resources. Why don't you give us a little information on that, and I'll put up contact information for you then.
If you go to our website, www.naapimha.org, we have a list of the different organizations around the country that provide services, ethnic-specific services to the Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander communities. This is always an ongoing project. So if any of you are listening to this and you would like to be included in there, please contact us, because we really want to make sure that when we have a resource, it's for you, it's for the community to be able to have access to. So I'm sure there are many organizations we do not have on our website, and we'd love to be able to share that. We also have resources about different things. So we're going to try to sort of update on projects that we're seeing, articles, research, all the kinds of things that might be able to help you as a community in the work that you are doing. And again, it's a two-way street. So if there's something that you would like, that doesn't mean we're going to be able to put everything up, but we also invite you to be able to share with us things that you think might be valuable for others to learn about.
Dr. Rita, thanks so much for being with us, and I look forward to doing this again.
Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate you taking the time to be able to talk with us and to really kind of get the word out of what we are doing. So I would like to say thank you very much. And I really look forward to working with you again in the future. Thank you.